So hey guys, today we have Sakshi Sevakar and she's having 3 years of experience in Java and Spring Boot. So let's get started. Hey Sakshi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm fine. And you?
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can you please introduce yourself and your recent project?
Okay.
Hmm.
So, good afternoon. Myself Sakshi Sevadkar,
Mm-hmm.
and basically I am from Nagpur. I have completed my BE in Rashtrasant Tukdoji Maharaj University, Nagpur,
Mm-hmm.
and then I joined ITC Infotech as a Java developer. And
Okay.
my current project is a City Union Bank, is a totally banking domain project, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's a mega project. So that's why in divide into two part. Like first
Mm-hmm.
is a loan department, and
Mm-hmm.
second is to create a various types of account in a banking department, like transaction account. So
Mm-hmm.
my roles and responsibility is to create a new account, like
Mm-hmm.
a client send a request, create a new account. So in that
Mm-hmm.
situation, account management microservices to handle these account informations, and
Mm-hmm.
one to create one microservices is a central hub. So in
Mm-hmm.
that all account handle the activities in this microservices. Also using the Spring Boot, Spring Data JPA, Data JPA is interact in a Hibernate. Also
Okay.
some define and develop and define for example transaction account. Also
Mm-hmm.
perform to the CRUD operation, and then also using the Spring Security, because it's a banking domain project. So Spring
Mm-hmm.
Security is a most important feature like a banking domain. So to
Okay.
use to the authorization authentication to check your user is valid or not.
Mm-hmm.
If is a valid user, so then go for the City Union Bank applications, and
Mm-hmm.
then perform some activities. And also my
Okay.
skill set are the Java, core Java, like Spring Boot, microservices,
Mm-hmm.
Hibernate, REST API, and
Okay.
database are using a MySQL. And my team size is 12. Six is the
Mm-hmm.
work front end, and six is
So
the
your
back end.
project,
That
your project is is related to banking sector, right?
yes,
Okay. So and it's based on microservice architecture, right?
correct.
Okay. So how your microservice communicate with each other?
So one microservices communication to another microservices
Mm-hmm.
is used to the synchronization method.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. And which database you are using?
I'm using the MySQL database.
MySQL database for all
Yes.
microservices or different database for different microservices?
No, for all application using only MySQL.
Okay. So is there any reason of using single database for whole all microservices or uh,
No, it's
because we
not a
can
specific reason.
okay, because we can leverage the microservice architecture, like we can use a different database for different microservices, but if there is any specific reason, you can tell us.
No specific
No
reason.
specific reason. Okay. Okay, so uh, so you are using Spring Boot, right?
Yes.
uh, which Spring Boot version?
Spring Boot using like 1.3.4.
Okay. Okay. So, uh, do you know about Spring Framework? Like, have you made any application on Spring Framework only, without using a Spring Boot?
No, and I'm using a Spring Boot application. Its annotation are using.
Okay, so you haven't worked on Spring Framework alone, right?
Yes.
Okay. But can you tell me what is Spring Boot? I mean, how Spring Boot is different from Spring Framework?
Okay. Like a Spring Boot, it's using the only few annotation to do required configurations. No need
Okay.
to multiple annotation, and it is a
Mm-hmm.
standard application also. And no
Okay.
need to deploy the war file in a Spring Boot. And
Mm-hmm.
also we can write boilerplate code, and that's why using the Spring Boot.
Okay. Okay. Can you explain some of the default configurations that Spring Boot provides for a typical web applications?
Default configurations.
Yes.
Uh, Sorry, but currently I'm not recall this.
Okay. So default configuration basically means like embedded servers. Uh, we Spring Boot provides Tomcat, right? And there are some default configurations for Spring MVC with a dispatch servlet, and for creating a test, we have some default configurations, right? Okay.
So,
Moving ahead. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Moving ahead. So Sakshi, before moving on to the next question, do you know that we have designed a complete interview preparation package structured step by step containing 16 PDFs? So let me
Design
brief on.
pattern.
No, no, no. Let me brief on this. It's basically a one-stop solution to crack any interview. This package covers core Java, Spring Framework, Maven, Git, Spring Boot, scenario-based question, Spring Security, Spring MVC, Spring Data JPA, Microservices, Hibernate, and general Java coding question, also with Stream API coding questions, and many more. And the best part is that people have been telling me they've cracked their interviews with this material, and there is a 99% chance that the interviewers will ask questions from this package. So after this interview, I will share a link with you to get this. Also, I'll add in the description of this video. Okay. So now moving to the next question.
Yes.
Uh, okay. So how do you configure a Spring Boot application by using either YAML or properties? I mean, uh,
Okay, okay.
uh,
I configure in a going to the like application dot property, and
mm-hmm,
application dot property is located in SRC main resources, and we
mm-hmm,
can write a server dot port like for example 8081, and also
mm-hmm.
spring dot database dot username, and write a
Okay.
username and also using the spring database dot
Mm-hmm.
password. Some people username and password is a root, and so using the hibernate connections are
Okay.
right. So,
Okay.
and it's already copy and paste in this like
Okay.
in
So
this page, and
as you told, you use application properties, but not application YAML. So, like, can you describe a scenario where you would choose YAML over properties and why?
mm, example.
YAML, why YAML? There are two type of files, right? Application.yml, and one is application.properties.
Hmm, YML.
Yeah. Okay, so basically application.yml is choose over application.properties for its ability to express data in a hierarchical format, which is more readable and better organized than the flat format of properties file. This is particularly useful in large projects with many configuration settings, or when a configurations need to be grouped by a feature or component, as it makes maintaining and understanding configuration easier. Okay, so what are Spring Boot starters?
Spring Boot starter is a main annotation, and Spring Boot starter we can write a pond.xml files. It's a
Okay,
dependency. Yes.
okay. Can you give some examples?
Spring Boot starter.
Mm,
Mm, it's a like a dependency. So used to the only pond.xml. That's
okay. So, for example, we have a Spring Boot starter web, right? You have seen in the POM file, right? Uh, so that's for web. I mean, starter for web. So similarly, we have another starters as well. Okay. Anyway, so what starter would you use for accessing MySQL database, and how does it simplify the setup? Like, what starter would you use for MySQL in
Spring
POM file?
also used to the Spring Boot starter plugin, Spring Boot starter test, Spring Boot starter test. These are annotation used in a pond.xml.
Okay. Okay. Uh, so how do you handle exceptions in a Spring Boot application?
Okay, so in my project,
Mm-hmm.
I handle the three exception are handled, like
Mm-hmm.
account is not valid, account number is not valid, and
Okay.
account transfer is not valid, and these are annotations and use like create a one page and to write a one try block and multiple catch block because handle the exception.
Mm-hmm.
So also using in that situation using the controller advisor and
Mm-hmm.
exception handler annotation are used, like
Okay.
you can use to the Spring MVC pattern. So use to the
Mm-hmm.
controller advisor, and you can use to the like a RESTful services. So using the another annotation, RESTful services advisor.
Okay. Okay. Do you know about actuator?
Yes, actuator means nothing but to monitor and maintain the Spring
Mm-hmm.
application, also to check the health of the Spring application. And
Okay.
there are the three types of application like endpoint, audit, and
Mm-hmm.
matrix
Okay.
in the Spring actuator.
Okay. How do you secure actuator endpoints in a production environment?
Production environment. Sorry, no.
Okay. So to secure actuator endpoints in a production environment, we can set management endpoint security by using Spring Security. For example, we can restrict access to sensitive endpoints such as environment endpoint, shutdown, beans, these type of endpoints by allowing only authenticated users with specific roles to access them. Additionally, we can configure endpoints exposure to limit which endpoints are available over the network and which are only accessible locally. Okay. Okay. So, do you know about Spring Boot profiles?
Profile?
Yeah, profiles.
No.
Okay. So, profiles in Spring Boot are used to segregate parts of the application configuration and make it available only in certain environments. For example, we can define dev, test, and prod profiles, each with its specific configuration settings, like database URLs and other environment specific parameters. Okay, like in our project, we use some different environments. One is dev environment, one is test environment, one is prod environment.
Hmm.
So these are nothing but profiles. So in each environment, we might have a different set of URLs. In prod, we might be using some different URLs. In dev, we might be using some local URLs and different. So this is the profile of a Spring Boot. Okay, and now question may come like how can we activate different profiles in our development, testing, and production environment? So in a Spring Boot, it can be activated in several ways depending on the environment. For local development, profiles can be activated via spring.profiles.activate property in the application properties or YAML file by setting environment variables. And similarly, in production, we can pass active profiles through a command line arguments, like Spring profiles active is equal to prod. With this, when starting the application in cloud environments or when using a containerization like Docker, a profile can be activated using environment variable set in the containers configuration. Okay, so there are different ways in setting profiles in in dev and as well as in prod. Okay, okay. So as you told, you have used microservice architecture in your project. So can you tell me how Spring Boot integrate with microservice architecture?
Yes. Like suppose microservices is the communication one microservices to another in a synchronizedly, and
Okay,
microservices is a large application to divide into the small part,
okay.
and also is a loosely coupled and lightweighted, and
Mm-hmm.
microservices is a small services like its communications to each other like using the lightweight protocol like HTTP methods. So
Mm-hmm.
in that situation, for example, we can create a one shopping application. Okay,
Okay.
like product service and
Mm-hmm.
product, service, and shipment. These are
Okay.
three services in our microservices. And also we can
Mm-hmm.
create a one API gateway. API
Okay.
gateway nothing but it's a entry gateway, entry point. Hmm.
Okay.
Um, and also we can create a IP port. And but user not know how many services run inside the microservices.
Mm-hmm.
So API gateway also added to the authorization authentication, because in API gateway is a entry point. So in that situation, user check is a valid or not valid. If your
Mm-hmm.
user is valid, so enter the in applications. And
Mm-hmm.
also use to the hashtag dashboard, that dashboard it means fault tolerance, like
Mm-hmm.
three microservices is running continuously. If in case one microservices is a go down, so
Mm-hmm.
so no impact in other microservices. In that situation, used to the circuit design pattern.
Okay.
uh, and also used to the in a like a Eureka server, like
Mm-hmm.
microservices register to the Eureka server, and under Eureka server to create a small application, like to change the order, to return the order.
Mm-hmm.
um uh, like in this services is a small services to register in a Eureka server. These
Okay.
are the integration of the.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So nice. Moving ahead, have you heard about response body annotation?
Yes,
Okay. Can
response
you?
body.
Mm-hmm.
Response body means it's outgoing request, like
Okay.
and it is used to the get method to write the data. And
Okay.
response body for used to the XML, XML, JSON and XML for to write the data. It's
Mm-hmm.
required.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So, what's the difference between response body annotation and REST controller annotation?
Response. Okay. A response body, first of all, using the like when we can create a one page in a controller. So
Mm-hmm.
in that and create a API. So use to the response, sorry, response body to write the data.
Mm-hmm.
Told me response body or request body.
Okay. Uh, what come again? What did you say?
My question is a response body or request body.
No, no, no. Response body and REST controller, and also tell the difference between response body and request body as well. Tell both
Okay.
differences. Yeah.
Yes, response body and request body. So request body is a the application is a incoming of the data, and also
Okay.
response and also used to the like post, put, and patch method
Mm-hmm.
to read the data, and thus it's required to the JSON and XML to
Mm-hmm.
read the data in data. And response body is to write the data, like and also used to the get method, and
Mm-hmm.
using the JSON and XML for to write the data in
Okay.
payload. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
at the rate REST controller, controller means REST controller followed by the um, RESTful services. And it is
Okay.
also it's followed by the JSON and XML format, and
Mm-hmm.
we do not return the view.
Okay.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's a combination of the at the rate controller and at the rate response body. It's a combination of those
Okay.
annotations.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Moving ahead, uh, can you please explain public static void main string args in
Okay.
Java entry point?
Okay, okay. Public means public is a one of the access modifier, and public is visible to everywhere. Public.
Mm-hmm.
And then static. Static
Mm-hmm.
is a keyword, but
Mm-hmm.
no create any object, and it is called to the main method.
Okay.
Call to the call to the method. A void
Mm-hmm.
is a return type, but it is a return nothing. And public
Mm-hmm.
static main is a starting point of programming, and
Mm-hmm.
main method called to the Java Virtual Machine JVM. And string
Okay.
args is a argument,
Mm-hmm.
but it is not a permanent argument. User can change the in this place.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mm, what happen if we don't declare the main as a static?
But it's a mandatory, to write a
Mm-hmm.
static method.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, JVM won't be able to launch the application if we don't static, right? We will give an error.
Hmm.
I mean, this JVM will throw an error. Okay. Can we override the main method?
No.
Okay. So yes, you are correct. We cannot override the main method of Java because static method cannot be overridden. The static method in Java is associated with the class, whereas the non-static method is associated with an object. Static belongs to the class area. Static method don't need an object to be called. Okay.
Yes. Correct.
Moving ahead. Can we overload the main method?
Yes, it's possible overload the main method.
Yes. We can overload the main method in Java by just changing its argument. Can JVM execute our overloaded main method?
Yes, it's possible JVM overload the main methods.
No, no. I'm asking, can JVM execute our overloaded main method? Let's say there is one main method. Now we overloaded that main method. Now there are two main methods. Okay. So can JVM execute our main method that we overloaded? Means second main method.
Okay, two methods. So JVM only overloaded only first method. You cannot overload the second method. I
Okay.
think, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. So you are correct. So JVM will never call our overloaded main method. Okay. So what's the difference between primitive data types and non-primitive data types?
Okay, primitive data type. There are eight types of primitive data type, like int,
Mm-hmm.
short, long, byte, char, and
Mm-hmm.
char and float. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a primitive data type using the collections and
Okay.
collection form. And a non-primitive means string and array is a non-primitive data type.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Non-primitive data type means it's a creating a user,
Mm-hmm.
and a primitive data type means it's already declared in a
Okay.
Java.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can primitive data types be null?
Yes.
Okay. How?
Mm, like we for example, private integer and
Mm-hmm.
a private integer equals to double quoted, and double quoted is blank, so it's a possible to null.
Sorry, come again. I didn't get you.
Okay, one private x is modifier given, to write the integer
Mm-hmm.
x, okay,
Mm-hmm.
equals to double equals to semicolon complete means it's possible to null.
Okay. So you are saying private integer x is equal to double quotes, empty double quotes.
Null.
Hmm?
Yes.
But that is not null. That is the empty string. Okay. So no primitive data types in Java cannot be null. They have default values 0 for int, false for boolean, 0.0 for double, and must have a value. Non-primitive data types may be null if we don't assign any value. For example, if
Mhm.
we just say integer caps integer x and semicolon nothing, then they can be null.
Okay.
Okay. Can we declare pointer in Java?
No.
Yeah. So no, Java does not provide the support of pointer, as Java need to be more secure because which feature of the pointer is not provided in Java.
Yes, but it's possible to C and C++.
Yes, yes, correct. What are wrapper classes?
Wrapper class nothing but it's a wrapper class used in the collection
Mm-hmm.
concept. Wrapper class means or to convert the object into primitives.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Why do we need wrapper classes?
Mm, Wrapper class like used to the like int. So int we cannot write int. You can write a integer fulls.
Okay. Okay. Mm, why we use wrapper class in collections?
Uh, don't know.
Okay. So because Java collections such as ArrayList, HashMap, and others in Java framework, collection framework can only hold objects and not primitive types. So wrapper classes allow primitive values to be treated as objects, enabling them to be stored and managed within these collections. Okay. Can you explain the difference between unboxing and autoboxing?
Unboxing and autoboxing means also used to the wrapper class. Unboxing means convert into object to primitive, and primitive
Mm-hmm.
to objects means unboxing and outboxing.
Okay. Mm, can you provide an example where autoboxing could lead to unexpected behavior?
No, sorry, but I only read this concept, unboxing and
Oh,
outboxing.
okay, okay. So have you heard about string pool?
Yes.
String pool. String pool. String.
Uh, String pool concept.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Um, string constant pool.
Just go ahead.
Okay, string constant pool means SCP is a concept like to store the string in this memory, and
Mm-hmm.
so like to store the string lateral and as well as to store the new keyword in this memory, and also already present in the content. So only just for first of all check the reference if it is a present, so only
Mm-hmm.
is a present in this content, so only passes through the reference. This is the work
Okay.
of the string constant pool, and it's a used to
Mm.
the string concept and also used to the heap memory.
Okay. So are there any scenarios where using the string pool might not be beneficial?
Mm, Scenario.
Okay, so it will not be beneficial when there are a lot of unique strings because it will complex. Otherwise, it will be complex situation to check each string. Okay. Uh, can you please tell me difference between string and string buffer?
Okay, string is immutable, and immutable means once it's declare a string, so it's
Mm-hmm.
not be changed or it's not be alt once it's
Mm-hmm.
declared. And
Mm-hmm.
a string is immutable because of many reasons like concurrency, security, and a
Mm-hmm.
class loader. Is
Mm-hmm.
this in a string? That's why string is immutable, and string is used to the uh, two keyword like a string lateral and to create a new keyword. Also,
Mm-hmm.
it's present in a heap memory and string constant memory, and also used to the in this equal and double equal method. But string buffer is a mutable, and it is a thread safe, and thread safe is a non thread safe, and it's synchronized because at a thread is passes or thread is execute in a one by one. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's a slow and synchronized as compared to the it's a like it's less efficiency as compared to the string builder.
Okay. Mm, okay. Second. So can you give a scenario where a string buffer is better than string?
Okay, yes. So I give one example.
Mm-hmm.
String string buffer is a based because we can book the train ticket. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so train ticket like a government like a railway has only 10 tickets. So to give to the one by one tickets in this scenario using the string buffer situation string buffers concept, like thread pass or thread execute
Mm-hmm.
one by one.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, Sakshi, it's done from my end.